Prepare yourselves, as in today's video we are going to be covering some of the worst movies, some of the most despicable, some of the most stupid, some of the most baffling movies you've ever seen in your life. So baffling that they become good. So today we are covering the top 5 best, worst movies.
Elephant green screen effect.
Now, I know I'm going to get those comments going like, oh, but why do you not include this movie or that movie? So I'm going to go through a couple of honourable and dishonourable mentions. Cool Cat Saves the Kids, an absolutely baffling, kind of misguided attempt at trying to teach kids safety that just feels so wrong when you think about it. Space Mutiny, a hilariously weird attempt at Star Wars, and the only way you can have fun with this one's by watching the Mystery Science Theatre version of it. The Amazing Bulk, a really weird mess of a movie that you've just got to see. And last but not least for the honourable mentions, we have Shark Exorcist. Similar to The Amazing Bulk, I'm not going to spoil much on this one. You've just got to see it to believe it. And very quickly, we have the dishonourable mentions. There are only 2 movies I want to talk about, so let's crack on. Rogue Elements, a boring, generic and hypocritical mess. And then there's Battlestar Wars.
I hate it.
So yeah, that's all the honourable and dishonourable mentions now talked about. Let's start the list. So briefly earlier, I mentioned a TV show that goes by the name of Mystery Science Theatre 3000. This was a popular TV show back in the 80s, 90s, and it was briefly seen on Netflix around 2017. And it was basically a show where they would take old movies and make fun of them by riffing over them, by making their own commentary and jokes and their running gags and stuff. And easily my favourite episode out of all the Mystery Science Theatre episodes was the one on The Final Sacrifice, which is the number 5 spot on this list today. So, The Final Sacrifice was a Canadian film during the year 1990, and it stars a character known as Troy McGregor as he's trying to solve the mystery of his missing father and is trying to uncover this weird cult thingy. And he is then attacked whilst trying to solve it, and he gets saved by the man, the myth, the legend, Zap Rousdower. So then later on, Troy and Rousdower must team up to stop the weird villain guy and his cult thingy from stopping this ancient race. They meet one of Troy's father's old friends and they save the day. And look, this film is not really that good, but man, is it a fun watch, especially if you watch the Mystery Science Theatre version of it. Like, there is just so many just silly moments that just feel so stupid. Like, there's like one part where like there's like a car chase and they stop him with like a bunch of beer. I'm not kidding. That's actually how they survive, and it's just absolutely bombastic. This movie is just insane.
There's 2 of them!
Right, everyone's talked about this movie this year so far. I've talked about this movie in the YouTube short I made. Everyone knows about this movie, so I'm going to keep this one quite brief, but I've got to mention the new War of the Worlds movie. It's just hilarious. Without a doubt, this is easily the worst movie of 2025, and you will see that in an upcoming video of mine. But basically, this movie just takes place in modern day Earth. Ice Cube is like some security guy breaching people's privacy, checking on stuff, and then aliens invade. He gets his children to safety, and then they save the day using the power of Amazon. Oh yeah. The movie tries to do a format of movies called Screen Life, which is where you have like, it's like on a computer screen, and like you see the characters do that. I think it can be executed well enough if you do that, but this movie's Screen Life is so inaccurate. And one more thing, as a certified massive War of the Worlds fan, this movie is so inaccurate to the book it's based off. The aliens are not from Mars, they're after Data for some reason. And I don't mind a random adaptation, but for some reason this adaptation just absolutely sucks and misinterprets the entire point of the original novel. So yeah, additional bad points for that, but it's a fun watch. So, I think this list needs a bit of animated representation. And what else is better than A Car's Life? Wait, no, hang on, let me do that again. What else is better than a car? Right, third time lucky. What's better than... No, again! Right, the joke's over. What else is better than A Car's Life? Okay, I think, as you can tell by the last 2 reactions, is that they decided to keep changing the logo with the last 2. Like, they had this original logo, then they changed it to be more like cars. Well, despite the logo, this film is a bloody treat to get through. It's just so cataclysmically awful. I just cannot put into words how awfully good this movie is. So, this movie stars some random red car called Lightning McQueen. I meant Sparky, and he disobeys his father. That's a massive theme of the film, and then he gets stuff done. I don't know what happens, and then there's this annoying pink car called Speedy. She gets killed off later in the film, and that's like ironically the best part of the film because her voice acting is like the worst I've ever seen in an animated film ever, and I just cannot with this movie. For the life of me, this movie is just so bizarre. I don't even know how I can explain it. You just gotta watch it yourself. The animation is awful. The writing is beyond good and evil. Everything is just so stupid about this movie. Nothing really makes sense. And yet, I think there are two more important movies that I've just got to talk about.
Friendly staff will make sure that your money is our number one priority.
And whilst I don't think this one is as fun as A Car's Life is, I do think this one is way more important. In second place, probably the most important so bad it's good movie, we have Birdemic, Shock and Terror. Now, imagine a plagiarism of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds combined with $10,000 worth of budget, and you get, this. Yeah, this is quite a fun movie, not gonna lie. And by fun, I mean very interesting to watch, because if you really want to get into filmmaking and learning what makes a good movie, what makes a bad movie, I seriously recommend watching Birdemic. Like, the first half of the movie, there is literally no plot. It's just this really bad romance plot, which is painfully obvious. And the second half of the movie is CGI chaos, where everything makes zero sense, and people just do stuff because birds and because movie, and then stuff happens. And oh yeah, by the way, did you know there's a second Birdemic? And a third one. And a musical as well. Yeah, this shit's wild, man. This franchise is absolute masterpiece. 10 out of 10 masterpiece. But is it as good as?
It was perfect. Perfect.
Up until this point, all the movies I've talked about are like ironically, in an ironic sense. However, the number one spot in this video, I actually unironically really like. And I think it's a very good nod to cinema. And I think everyone should watch it. I am talking about Who Killed Captain Alex? Filmed at Wakaliwood Studios, located in Uganda, this film is an absolute masterpiece despite the context. It had a $200 budget and it is just so passionate and so fun to watch. The action is insane. The kung fu is insane. The video joker, aka VJ Emmy, is absolutely insane and makes this movie so much better. This movie is not just a so bad it's good movie. It unironically becomes so good given the context of the making of the film. Everyone is so passionate about making this film, and I think that's what people have lost over the years. Over the years, people have been focusing on trying to get as much money from each film, releasing sequels after Marvel slop and garbage and Hollywood stuff, that we forget that films are meant to be fun first and then profit second. And that's what Who Killed Captain Alex manages to do. So yeah, that was the top 5 best worst movies. This video was an absolute joy to make, and I'm gonna go now. Bye.